Today's episode is brought to you by Proud Wolves. It is Proud Wolves' mission to make sure children all over the world have free access to cultural activities and sport. Proud Wolves helps organizations to change their income models and stops them relying on membership fees for children. Find Proud Wolves on Facebook for more information. Now, get ready for your All-NBA Team of the Week. Goeiedag, enchantée, and welcome to this week's episode of 824 Presents All-NBA Team of the Week. The Jazz are absolutely steamrolling the competition. They are by far the best team in the league right now. Ben Simmons is claiming the title of Defensive Player of the Year, not only on the court, but off the court as well. The Lakers need some depth because they are struggling without AD. Immanuel Quickley from the Knicks is throwing his head in the ring for Rookie of the Year. Zion is an unstoppable monster, winning games from the Pelicans on his own. Booker and Sabonis make it to the All-Star team after all, and Miami, with Jimmy Butler, is going to be a playoff threat. These were some of the most notable moments of the past week around the NBA. But, as usual, we'll zoom in on 5 of the best players of last week. This is our All-NBA Team of the Week. Pick 1! The first pick of the week is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from Oklahoma City Thunder. The plan at the start of the season for OKC was simple. Lose as much as you can, but have fun doing it. The GM, Sam Presti, has built up an amazing collection of draft picks through trades the last few years. Between now and 2027, the Thunder could have up to 30 picks, and this year alone they could have 3 first-round picks. The experts are saying that this draft is loaded with talent, so OKC wants to have high odds of winning that number 1 pick. To get high odds, you need to lose. Presti traded away most of his good players during the off-season, only holding on to Shai and the surprising Lou Dort. The duo, nicknamed Canadian Thunder, have been playing really well this season. SGA has been averaging 23 points, 5 rebounds and 6 assists per game, and has improved tremendously since last season when Chris Paul was doing most of the heavy lifting for the team. Right now, they sit in 12th spot in the West, and they are in contention for the play-in game positions. This week, in a win against the Spurs, he made 42 points, a career high for SGA, and Dort threw in the winning shot. That game has been the pinnacle so far for a fun OKC team. But Presti's a great GM, and he has made sure that they don't have enough talent on the team yet to upset too many of the better teams, like they did last season. SGA is surrounded by some young talent and older veterans, and they are all playing hard, trying to win as many games as they can. OKC is establishing a winning culture while losing, proving that tanking happens in the front office, not on the court. SGA was one of the fringe players to make the All-Star team. He was in the conversation, but didn't really stand a chance in a guard-heavy Western Conference. OKC will also miss out on the playing games this season. The busy second half of the schedule will be too much for the inexperienced team. But they have plenty of time, focusing on the future. With fresh talent coming in through the draft, and with trading genius Presti in the front office, OKC will fight their way to one of the highest spots in the Western Conference within a few years. And SGA will be leading them into battle, when he will be one of the best guards in the league. Pick 2! The second pick of the week is Malik Monk of the Charlotte Hornets. At the start of the season, Monk looked on his way out of Charlotte. The front office drafted LaMelo Ball, top candidate of Rookie of the Year, and with Rozier, Graham and the Martin twins, there was a lot of competition for a spot in the backcourt. Monk ended up at the bottom of the list and had to wait until the end of January before he could count on some decent playing time. But Malik was ready, and on February 1st, in a win against the Heat, he made 36 points, a career high, in an amazing performance off the bench. Since then, he has played himself back into the good graces, and this week averaged nearly 25 points and 4 rebounds over 3 games, each time coming off the bench and playing less than 30 minutes. On this show, we have been saying that there's only one contender this season for the 6th Man of the Year award, and that's Jordan Clarkson of the Jazz. He has been incredibly valuable for the Jazz, with high-scoring performances coming off the bench. No other player in the league is so important for their team. Insert Malik Monk, and his timing is perfect. The early season hype around the Hornets was fading, and they started to drop in the standings when they finally inserted him into the lineup. In February, the Hornets are 6-6, and Monk has more than contributed to that record by leading the second unit off the bench. Now, he's not going to overtake Clarkson all of a sudden, but if he keeps playing this way, he will be in the conversation by the end of the season. And that will be important for Monk, who's in his final year of his contract with the Hornets. He's lifting up his value now for when he has to sit around the table with MJ and the Hornets. It is safe to assume that he will want a bigger role within the organization next season, He might not get that in Charlotte, so chances are they'll want to trade him before his contract is up. By putting up amazing performances now, he might secure a trade to a team that needs a reliable scoring guard. Rumor has it he might be used in a trade package to move John Collins from Atlanta to Charlotte. Before we move on, I'd like to talk to you about A24. A24 was created by Proud Wolves with the intention to provide children with an opportunity to learn and play basketball at their own pace and completely free. A24 created different courses to improve your basketball skills that are available on the website, but our real mission is to help disadvantaged children by building and upgrading basketball courts around the world, and to give them basketball gear to play with. Come and find our website, and please buy a t-shirt to support our cause. Now back to All-NBA Team of the Week. Pick 3! The third pick of the week is James Harden of the Brooklyn Nets. At time of recording, the Nets are on an 8-game winning streak and have only played one of those games with their big three. KD has missed all the other games, and Kyrie missed one too. That leaves us with James Harden, one of the most reliable players in the league. He's rarely injured, rarely misses games, and plays fantastic every game, except for the start of this season in Houston when he wanted to get traded. But since his move to the Nets, he's averaging 25 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds a game. He's been scoring less than in his 9 years in Houston, but his rebounds and assists are way up. James Harden is a great basketball player, maybe even the best one on his team. That might be a bit of a reach, because Kevin Durant is one of the best players to have ever played the game. But KD is coming back from a major injury and is struggling with other little ailments as well. Nobody imagined KD to return at the same level straight away, and the Nets' hopes rested on Kyrie. Kyrie's a fantastic scorer, but he's not the guy to build your franchise around. We saw that last season. Trading for James is proving to be the best move that the Nets could have made. They are winning games while KD has the time to get back to his level by the playoffs. The Nets are now second in the East, only just behind the Philadelphia Sixers, and have beaten some of the best teams in the Western Conference on a 5-game road trip. James has been selected for the All-Star team, no surprise there, and he might even be part of the MVP conversation towards the end of the season. People have short memories and might forget about his antics in Houston. Either way, Harden has enough personal accolades and he wants to win the title. The Nets are the best offensive team in the league, but do they have the defense to win in the playoffs? That's the biggest question around the league right now. If the Nets can win the league without playing defense, it could change the way the game is played forever. And if they can, they only need their big three to have crazy night once or twice a round. These guys are known to have multiple crazy nights per round. Right now, I don't see a team that can beat the Nets 4 times. Pick 4! The fourth pick of the week is Kawhi Leonard of the LA Clippers. The Clippers last season were the biggest disappointment of the season. After making a lot of noise all year long, they lost in the second round of the playoffs against the Denver Nuggets, after being up 3 games against 1. Paul George was the main scapegoat for the Clippers, but Kawhi bears a lot of responsibility as well. After winning the championship with Toronto 2 years ago, he claimed the crown of the best player in the league, and he had a chance to set it in stone by winning 2 championships in a row with 2 different teams. He would have been the first superstar to achieve this, but he absolutely choked in the last game against the Nuggets. Fast forward to today. The Clippers have quietly been winning games and have been playing well, besides a small hiccup against the Memphis this week. This season, Kawhi has averaged nearly 27 points a game, 6 rebounds and 5 assists. He's more involved in the game and is acting like a leader on the court. That is something we haven't seen of Kawhi before. He has realized that he has to set the example for the rest of the team and can't rely on his teammates to carry him. This was different for him in San Antonio and Toronto. Together with PG, the superstar duo is ready to redeem themselves in the playoffs this season. To do that, they will have to go through the Lakers. Everyone anticipated a Western Conference final between the 2 LA teams last season, but that didn't work out. This season, a battle for LA has to happen. It might not be in the Western Conference final if the Jazz keep up their form, but there will be a confrontation along the way. LeBron versus Kawhi, that's a clash of the titans. They've met each other 12 times in the playoffs so far, and Kawhi is up 7-5. LeBron is eager to catch up and will make the statement that he's still the best player in the league. But Kawhi and his team are ready. This is their make or break season. There won't be a third chance to get there. Pick 5! The fifth pick of the week is Jarrett Allen of the Cleveland Cavaliers. He was picked 22nd in the 2017 draft by the Brooklyn Nets and was going to be the cornerstone of the Nets, together with D'Angelo Russell and Karis LeVert. 4 years later, none of those guys play for the Nets anymore. We all know what happened. Allen ended up on the Cavaliers in the Harden Nets trade, competing with Andre Drummond for playing time. He has won that battle, especially now that the Cavaliers have announced that Drummond isn't playing anymore until he is traded. His minutes have gone up, and he has achieved a double-double in every game since that announcement. Not only that, but the Cavs are winning again. At the start of the season, before the trade, the Cavs were one of the better teams in the league, surprising everyone. The Sexland backcourt, Colin Sexton and Darius Garland, were winning games left, right, and center. They looked frisky and a potential outsider to make the playoffs. Then reality set in, and the Cavs lost 10 games in a row in February to drop to the 14th spot in the East. But this week, they seem to have finally turned it around with a hard-fought win against the Hawks and an absolute blowout against the Rockets. Allen went crazy in this game, scoring 26 points and only missing one shot from the field, a career high. He also grabbed 18 rebounds in that game and was a plus 17 in the box score. The Cavs have a bright future with Allen on the front court and Sexton in the backcourt. Both are more or less the same age, and it is a duo that can be built around. Experts have always said that Allen will have a great future in the NBA, and he's starting to show it now. If the Cavs can keep this core together and slowly put better pieces around them, they should be able to play for a place in the playoffs soon. They might even make it to the play-in game as early as next season. This is our All-NBA Team of the Week. Please share our podcast and give us 5 stars. If you have any questions, you can contact the show on 824office@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Ballers out.